Hello, I'm the Resolute Cartographer, and this is the 45th video of my Fallout 76 Surveyal series covering the Morgantown Airport. Now, this is the character that I created to investigate Vault 76 to get all the lore there, because the last time I was here with another character, there was a holotape missing, and I wanted to see whether or not it was related directly to having already had the holotape in my inventory, or if they had simply removed it from the airport, because they did a pretty large update to the Morgantown Airport, and in that time they changed a lot of stuff up. So let's take a look. First of all, here we are at the south gate. You can open up the gate here and go inside. There's a triage area here that I think was set up before the war, and I say that because you can find skeletons of soldiers, like that guy right there. This stuff right here was definitely set up after the war, so it's kind of weird. I mean, it doesn't make that much sense. This safe was set up by the responders. There's a entry here on this terminal, Triage Center Terminal. Alpha Station, log. Last stocked by, volunteer Lucas de Blazion. Comment, there was a rotten pie in the safe. I removed it. I'm not going to say I'm mad, I'm just disappointed. We have coolers for food, okay? Again, so clearly the responders were in here, but they left a soldier's body on the bed. I don't understand why you would do that. Anyway, though, there's the local end point of the Morgantown Rapid Transit, or really the Morgantown Monorail in this. Morgantown Rapid Transit in real life. And again, in real life, as I said in the lore video I did in Morgantown, the Morgantown Airport is like over here, to the east of Morgantown, not northwest of it. So, anyway. Oh, and the personal rapid transit does not travel all the way up here. So there's an APC here. There's also a whole military barrier here around this side. You know, wherever there's not a wall or a fence. Likely set up by the responders. You can see the logo right there and right up there. Which means that either the military left this APC parked here or the responders actually moved it in position, which is not that crazy an idea because there are many other barricades just like this. Well, not just like this. They're not made out of APCs, but there are large storage containers and other things that they use to block up the walls. Okay. So here's the main structure of the airport. So let's head on in here to the arrivals area. Alright, so we're going to hear Scorch walking around all over the place. That's because some of them are behind locked doors and things like that, so we're just going to deal with that sound. But I wiped out as many as I could along the path, so we won't have to deal with them for the moment. Okay, so they really did change a huge amount of this place. There are now posters all over the walls that didn't used to be here. Along with that, I mean, they really revamped the entire layout of the airport, added so much junk. Basically, the way I look at it is the first version of the airport was a lot more like what it was normally like during the operations by the responders, and what it is like now is really what it was like during the last stand of the responders when the Scorch originally laid siege and then pushed their way into their headquarters here at the Morgantown Airport. So, let's take a look around. This entrance right here has been barricaded. They were basically trying to funnel the Scorched in, because the whole idea here is to fight against a huge number of enemies. You've got to basically reduce their strength that comes from numbers by making it so they have to fight you just a few at a time, while your few at a time can fight their few at a time. So anyway, though, let's take a look around here. We got some power armor stations here, and an armor working bench. They completely blocked up this escalator that used to be usable. This elevator's always been like this. Coming around here, we got baggage claim. Alright. And we have a note over here on the wall next to this map. And it says, Battle Plan. Battle Plan. Establish fronts at baggage claim, arrivals, and gates. Find anything solid and begin barricading. Baggage claim should pull back to utility. Hold out there as long as you can before regrouping at arrivals. Arrivals retreat point is security. Get everyone in and lock the gate behind you. If all else fails, everyone falls back to command. Good luck. Alright. Now let's take a look over here real quick. We have a dead responder here who seems to have died in the fighting. We can now head through this door and down the stairs. The entire downstairs area was completely added during this patch that updated the airport. Okay, so a whole lot of lockers in here and just other filing cabinets and stuff like that. We got a broken computer here. Okay. And then this looks like it was the utility room that they fell back to. turn the flashlight on. Alright. Just a lot of industrial equipment and junk. Got a duffel bag with some ammunition and some armor in it. Coming over here, we can see through a gap in the wall and we can see a body holding an ID card. So now we can come over here. I unlocked this door when we first showed up. It would have been like this. So just opening it. And actually, let's head back over here real quick, because we went straight when we could have gone right. Alright, so we can head up this way. Through this door. And here we have... not entirely sure what this would have been. But we have a couple of small offices back here. Maybe this was a ticketing counter? Anyway, then we got a tinkerer's workbench. A little coffee station there. A lot of baggage. Come through this door and you find an area that the responder is actually caged off to be something of a prison, I think. Not really much to see in here. It used to be a bathroom before the war. Okay. And then we'll come around to that area again here in just a moment. So let's head back downstairs. Alright, now we could either go around this way or straight through here. This is the quicker way. And now we go through the door that again was locked when we first showed up. Maybe we can come up here. And here is the area behind what used to be the responder's shop. We got a chemistry station right there. This is an inventory room for that shop. Now I don't know what this was before the war. It may have been a confiscated goods room or something like that. Let's see if there's anything else to see in here. I think that's it. So we can now press this button and head on out here into what used to be the responder's shop. In fact, here is the dead responder vendor that used to be a robot that you could talk to and get goods from. Over here is a board where they have some of the deals that they were making. So trading post rules. All livestock must be weighed. Caps are bartered goods only. Quartermaster's decisions are final. Yes, including the robot. Outgoing trades. Pumpkins, 15 caps or trade. Ammo, 5 caps per bullet. Medicine, trade only or case by case. Scrap wood, 4 caps or trade. Bobby pins, 1 cap, which is sold out. And used to say fresh produce every week, now says produce every week. Alright. So coming out here we have a biplane that used to be hanging from the ceiling. It's now crashed into the floor. Got some Nuka-Cola Quantum and Cherry. Okay. Got some information terminals over here. Well, I guess they're responders databases. So we've got messages. Training volunteers. To all survivors from responder Ben-Ami. By now everyone has heard about what happened with Casey and the 2 young survivors who arrived at Sutton. It's tragic. There are no words. But he just didn't know, and they trusted him to know. So we've decided that all volunteers must now start as volunteer candidates first. And during this time, we go over the basics now. Food, water, that sort of thing. Casey decided to travel into the mountains to clear his head. We tried to persuade him to stay, but it's his choice. We hope he'll return soon. Self-serve kiosk. To all responders from Responder Ben-Ami. The new kiosk should help us handle additional volunteers, should any arrive. Lately, most of the survivors are too injured to help themselves, let alone others, but they'll see the kiosk as a sign that people will be arriving soon to help. We need that hope. Kiosk bugs. To all survivors from Responder Ben-Ami. The self-serve kiosk seems to have some issues. The message of the day keeps cycling every hour, and every time I add a new volunteer, it doesn't save the profile or send the information to the admin terminal. Interviews. To all survivors from Responder Ben-Ami. We are the survivors, folks. We are learning how to live out here, and we need to preserve and distribute this knowledge. Do you know how to make clothing from animal hide? Determine a good berry from a poison one? Let's talk about it. Let's tell the world what we've learned. Welcome. To all responders, all volunteers from Responder Ben-Ami. Welcome, responders and volunteers. Thanks for working with us. As you know, we are trying to cope with the influx of survivors that need our help. The new volunteer program is going to help us concentrate on medical help while volunteers focus on basic survival needs. We are also collecting data for the responders database, which will help us rebuild Appalachia one day. So please, contribute data when you can. And dispense rations. Volunteers can only receive one set of rations until the training program is complete. Dispense rations? Confirm. Got some purified water and pork and beans. Alright. So if we head back over here, you can see where we originally came up, because there's that cage that we saw earlier. Okay, so let's head over here through this metal detector area. Alright, here's another elevator. And some more stairs. Now, that's responding to the machete I'm carrying. Now we could either go up or we could go down, but we can't really go up because we needed the ID card for this. So, let's go down. So here's the security room that they were supposed to fall back to. You can tell that because of the monitors on the wall, along with all these consoles they were using to watch everything. They got a little cage back here for anybody that they caught. And here, through this door, we find that body that's holding the ID card. Let's see. And also we got some guns and ammo over there. Okay, so... Wow, that's a lot of radiation I'm getting. Okay. So, we got a note here on the table. Closet note. And we can grab the Morgantown Airport security key card. Okay. And we can read the closet note. Now, this note is unique. I have not seen a note anywhere else in Appalachia that's written by two people at once. One person writing in black, the other person writing in blue. So I'm going to read this as A for a black pin and B for the blue pin. A. Be quiet. They don't know we're in here. B. Are we all that's left? A. I think so. B. What do we do? A. They'll leave eventually, right? B. We could be in here for days. A. What other options do we have? B. We're screwed no matter what. I'll distract them long enough for you to escape. A. Just give it some time. B. I'm doing this. Be ready. A. Please, no. No! Okay. Now, the strange thing about this note, I can see most of this taking place. But I cannot imagine the final note of no with the exclamation points. That seems like something that would actually have been said. And then I don't understand also adding the dots after the no. That seems like this is almost like if you had a third person in the room with a black and a blue pen working as the stenographer for this conversation. But anyway. Okay. And yeah, they got two pins there, but they both look blue. Anyway, let's go back out here and head back upstairs. Here we go. Through the security door. Nice glitch it open right there. Okay, so let's check this out. We've got a door over here. This was locked when we first showed up. Going in here. Dead responder on the pool table. You got a chem station there. And a dead responder with responder's last words. If Jeff or Melody or anyone else finds this, I'm happy to know that someone made it out. But I think it's the end of the line for us. Tanner and Jansen aren't doing so great, and I'm not far behind. It's still hard for me to come to grips that those things used to be our friends, our family. I can't take the thought of us changing and hurting other people too, so I won't let it happen. If the last thing I can do is to make sure that we stay ourselves, then I'm okay with that. Serving with you has been the highest honor. Caleb Windermer, paramedic, Morgantown EMS. Alright, so let's head around here. Back out that door. Had this whole area where people were waiting for their gates. There's gas in the air here. So we got a bathroom here. We can go in, and there are just skeletons all over the place. This kitchen here burst into flames because I accidentally set off a trap. We have a note here. Mission to Abigail. Tammy, I know the mountains are dangerous right now, but we need to get a report from the Free States. The farmers are in a bad way, worried about the broadcast from the Brotherhood of Steel. So find someone that can get to Abigail's bunker up past the Red Rocket Megastop. Ask her the following. Defiance. Defiance is that Brotherhood headquarters, right? Are the Brotherhood okay? What's coming for us? Is everyone okay over there? I know the Brotherhood hasn't made any friends lately, but the whole thing is very disturbing. Maria. Okay, nothing else to find in there. We've got the walk-in freezer with more corpses. Coming through here, another bathroom. This is where I accidentally set off the trap. I think there was a, tripwire right there. I still don't know if it was a grenade bouquet or what it was exactly, but it said something off. Okay, so here's where the vertibird is crashing through the roof. The escalators on both sides are blocked. This used to be a door you could go through, that's completely blocked up now. This door used to be on the other side of this wall, like directly straight ahead through this wall, through the other wall. That's where the door was. Storage room controls. Alright, inventory. Ammunition, miscellaneous combat supplies, non-edible, and blank holotapes. Requisition orders, updated. Hello, responders. Please remember that the use and access of this storage room is now handled on a case-by-case basis. The purpose is to contain confiscated items and high-priority goods and gear. All inquiries and requisition requests are to be forwarded to responder leadership. And as always, remember to lock up after you're done. Thanks for your understanding. Note on perishables. Hello, responders. As this is now sealed containment, please do not store anything perishable here. This includes food, drinks, even water. I know we've been keeping our most precious treats in here. Love those fancy lad cakes, but it's more important to share what we have with our fellow survivors. I'll be putting in a request to clean the storeroom of anything organic. You have 72 hours to retrieve your perishable items before they are redistributed. Thanks for your understanding. Note on holotapes. Hello, responders. The recent disappearance of holotapes has forced us to keep a tighter grip on our inventory. Holotapes are our most requested item. However, until further notice, holotapes are temporarily borrowed out on top-level orders only. All remaining unused holotapes are to be stored in airtight crates within this room. Thanks for your understanding. I know we all want to get things off our chest now and then, but we need to keep an eye on this valuable resource. Remote door control. Okay, and within the room, a dead responder with a holotape in her hand.
It's been a few hours. I can hear them clawing at the door. I've locked myself in a storage closet, but I don't think the door opens from the inside. It's okay. Everything is okay. Acute stress reaction. Panic and emotional distress. Breathe. Breathe. I would guess it's been 24 hours since the attack. The sound of combat has stopped. They're still outside. I have roughly 8 to 10 weeks. Provided source of fluids. Starvation onset within 10 days. Effects of psychological shock are ongoing, but repressed. I can worry about PTSD later. I believe it's been 3 days. 3 nights. Adrenaline has dissipated. I'm so thirsty. I'm so hungry. I still can't unlock the door. Must conserve strength. Using energy to bang on the door or yell has proven wasteful. A source of fluid nourishment has not been found. No one is coming. No one is coming for me. My friends are all dead. Children were born into this violent world. And they left so violently from it. My God. Never leave. Don't. I feel hungry. I'm thirsty. No one is coming. First, umbilical, index finger, flex, MP joint. Oh, it hurts. Flex, MP joint. Extend, IP joint. And contract muscle. Oh, there.
A horrible end. Alright, and in here, the command center for the responders, and the commander of the responders, Maria Chavez, along with her last words.
My name is Maria Chavez, and I am about to die. The Scorched have overrun our defenses. They're coming for us all. If you find this, please listen carefully. We were called the Responders. After the bombs fell, we tried to help people. Maybe I can still help you. The terminal nearby, if it's still there, use it. Learn about the inoculation project. It might just save your life. Oh, shit! They're here! They're here! I'm out of time. Read the terminal. Learn about the Scorched. Remember us. And good luck.
So from this map here, we can get a generally good idea of what was going on in the world at the time. You have Watoga, which had they had no concept of. You can tell from the question marks there. From the Brother to Steel, we know that it was full of murder bots, which it still is now. Up here, they can see Harper's Ferry. Contact was lost. Berkeley Springs, they had crossed off the map. The Free States territory, they didn't know where they were. Thunder Mountain, they didn't know that. Well, yes, they knew it was controlled by the Brother. They did not know that Thunder Mountain had been lost. Nor did they know that Fort Defiance was right over here and that it also had been lost. They'd gotten their broadcast, but you can tell from that note we read earlier that Maria Chavez did not even really know that that was the headquarters of the Brotherhood. Monongah Power, you can see here, had fallen. They were talking about retaking that. They knew this was Raider territory, up and down, the Savage Divide, I mean. The White Spring, they have kind of blocked off as though it's unsafe, which, or maybe, I don't know exactly what that would mean. Big Bend Tunnel, they've got marked here on the map, which they tried to blow. They got the Fire Breathers HQ right down there in Charleston. AVR Medical. They lost contact with Poseidon Power. There's the Fire Breathers training course. If we go right up here to Flatwoods Training Site, which they misspelled site there, I believe. I can't read it all that easily because I don't have a scope on this gun. But I think they have it as SIGHT, when it's supposed to be SITE for training site. Along with that, we got unverified sighting of, I'm not sure, right there. Morgantown Airport, Responders HQ right there. Vault 76, why is it still closed? Can we open it? Because Vault 76 opened 5 years after it was supposed to open. And then up here, I believe these arrows are incoming Scorched, moving south through the Toxic Valley. Alright, so this is the computer she was talking about, so let's take a look. Responders HQ Terminal. Fire Breathers Recruiting. I just wanted to remind everyone that the Fire Breathers unit is always looking for more manpower. If you think you've got what it takes to handle our toughest missions and take on the Scorched, then Melody and Madigan would love to meet you. Don't forget, it's a dangerous assignment, but it comes with benefits. You'll have top priority for both rations and ammunition. We ask the Fire Breathers to put their lives on the line, but we reward their bravery where we can. The job's not for everyone, but if you think you can handle the recruitment process and training, then I ask you to consider signing up. Thanks, Chavez. Personnel files. Senior members. Maria E. Chavez, role Senior Responder, assignment Medical Support, Responders HQ. Claire L. Hudson, role Chief Medical Officer, assignment Inoculation Project, AVR Medical. Sanjay Kumar, role Chief Engineer, assignment Robot Repair, Responders HQ. Melody K. Larkin, role Combat Trainer, assignment Field Manual Project, Black Mountain Ordnance Works. Jeff T. Nakamura, role Quartermaster, assignment Reconnaissance and Foraging, Morgantown. Other members. Jerry P. Abernathy, role Guard/Escort, assignment Protect Supply Trains between Responder HQ and local farms. Derek J. Castle, role Guard/Escort, assignment Rapid Response Team. Veronica D. Chang, role Field Medic, assignment Rapid Response Team. Darian T. Jones, role Ammunition Manufacturer, assignment Foraging, Black Mountain Ordnance Works. Chelsea R. McKee, role Mechanic, assignment Forest Watch Project, Robot Maintenance, Responders HQ. Felix H. Odell, role Emergency Response Trainer. Assignment Recruit Training, Responders HQ. David P. Strauss, role Computer Technician. Assignment Terminal Maintenance and Reprogramming, Responders HQ. Lillian Tompkins, role Provisioner. Assignment Food and Water Resource Management, Responders HQ. Kevin J. Trajor, role Field Medic. Assignment Rapid Response Team. Ryan T. Zelnak, role Kim's Expert. Assignment Kim's Production, Responders HQ. Complaint 15-J. We just received another complaint about the Grafton Mayor's office. This time the mayor is being accused of illegally soliciting funds for his re-election campaign. The mayor's assistant allegedly demanded a contribution in exchange for notarizing documents. This one is more serious than the last three. I'd better go check it out. Follow-up. An officer was sent to the mayor's office in Grafton. He found some irregularities with the mayor's assistant's procedures. A citation was issued to correct the problem. The officer noted that Grafton's mayor claims there aren't funds to make the changes. We'll let a judge sort it out. Larkin. Messages. Has anyone seen Larry Pickerman? Everyone, please keep an eye out for Larry Pickerman. He's been missing a couple of days. If you haven't met him, he's about 6 feet tall, brown hair, green eyes, age about mid-50s. He came in with the last big group refugees. You might remember him as the electrician who decided to do some unsolicited work on our main computer. I'm sure he meant well, but we had to have him escorted out of the command center. Anyway, hopefully he's okay. He borrowed my only screwdriver and I really need it back. So if you see him, send him my way. Jeff Nakamura. Dealing with the Brotherhood. I've been a member of the Responders almost from the start. Like all of you, I've put my life on the line to save the lives of others more times than I remember. Our mission is important. That is why we can't let the Brotherhood of Steel push us around. Of course we'll help anyone where we can, but you all know that our resources are limited. The Brotherhood's been making increasing demands for resources and supplies in the names of holding back the Scorched. Well, the Scorched aren't the only threat around here, and the Responders aren't looking to fight a war. We're healers, we're teachers, we're not soldiers. When the Brotherhood comes asking for your ammo, your stim packs, your water, whatever it is, think carefully. Someone out there might need those supplies to survive. If they ask you to join their ranks because you've got the skills they can use, remember that we need those skills just as much, maybe more. We don't have the benefit of power armor and heavy weapons. All we've got is training, knowledge, and courage. But that's been enough so far, and I hope we can keep it that way. I'm not saying the Brotherhood of Steel is our enemy, we're on the same side, but lately, we're not really friends either. All I'm asking is that you stay focused on the mission, on our mission, no matter what they might ask of you. Chavez. Announcement. Rachel Price. Some sad news to share, everyone. Some of you might have heard about Rachel already, but for those who don't know, she said goodbye to the Responders and joined the Brotherhood of Steel to work as a combat medic. We'll all miss her, and we wish her the best. In the meantime, the few medics we have left are working around the clock. We'll be starting the medical training program up again to help fill in the gaps. Please volunteer if you can spare the time. Chavez. And we could not dispense rations because we actually haven't gotten anywhere. Alright, and so there's a holotape here. Overseer's log, Morgantown.
Overseer's log, Morgantown. I used to love coming here on weekends, taking flight lessons. Now it feels like I walked into a nightmare. Those scorched things are everywhere. I kept quiet. They didn't see me. I managed to observe them for a bit. Whatever this disease is, it seems to completely take over its host. The ones that used to be human, eventually they go rigid, some kind of stasis. And if they stay like that for too long, they sort of burn up from the inside out. Vesuvius in reverse. I wondered what could possibly cause all this. And then I got my answer. It swooped down from the sky, screeching, breathing, infecting everything. I don't know how to fight this. But we need to consider all our options. Even the nukes. Overseer's log, Morgantown. I used to love coming here on weekends, taking flight lessons. Now it feels like I walked into a nightmare. Those scorched things are everywhere. I kept quiet. They didn't see me. I managed to observe them for a bit. Whatever this disease is, it seems to completely take over its host. The ones that used to be human, eventually they go rigid, like some kind of stasis. And if they stay like that for too long, they sort of burn up from the inside out. Vesuvius in reverse. I wondered what could possibly cause all this. And then I got my answer. It swooped down from the sky, screeching, breathing, infecting everything. I don't know how to fight this. But we need to consider all our options. Even the nukes. We find the source of this scorched plague and wipe it from the map before it can leave Appalachia. But first things first, we can't let the disease spread to us. Looks like the responders were developing some kind of inoculation. I'm going to pick up their work. You should too. This is the Overseer, signing off.
Alright, and we also have a note here. Concerns. Dasa. I have serious concerns about the food everyone has been eating. Good lord, the cows have 2 heads. I'm taking over some of the local gardens to monitor the plants too. Maybe we shouldn't show anyone how to cook with this kind of food. Did you see the tomatoes? It's not right. Or maybe it is right. Hell, I don't know anymore. Okay, so we have one more little piece of lore in here, and that is the tape right over here. Report on Harper's Ferry attack.
Hey everyone, this is Derek. Making my final report on the events at Harper's Ferry. Hopefully this reaches you all safely. Whatever happened here, it was big. The whole area it's devastated. If any of our people survived, I can't find a trace of them. I talked to some of the locals. They say creatures came from the sky and laid waste to the town. Some of the ones who got hurt in the attack were transformed or something. They apparently turned into monsters and attacked anyone they could reach. Riley says he and his people are gonna seal themselves up in their bunkers and try to figure out a way to fight these creatures. In other words, we won't be getting any more help from these Free States guys. Maria, I was hoping you could get in touch with Ella. See if maybe she can lean on Riley a little. Get him to see that this isn't the way. If you ask me, I think it's damn selfish of them to turn their backs on the rest of us. On people who need their help to survive. There's nothing else I can do here. Guess we can scratch Harper's Ferry off the map. I'll be heading back soon. But I want to check in on some of the farms along the way. Should be about a week.
Alright, now to get out of here. Through the elevator. Dropping down. And we can head right on out. But we're not done here yet. There's still plenty of airport to check out. Alright, so what we're going to do is head on over this way. Around the departure side. And then we're going to follow the sidewalk through the gate. Up the stairs. And onto the tarmac. This area is just covered in tents, temporary structures, storage containers, shipping containers, all of which people were living in. So let's start taking a look around. Alright, so here up on top of this truck we have a upright piano, and on the responder corpse here we have Oh Holy Night. And it's just the lyrics to the song Oh Holy Night. Okay, coming over here You can see where they were attempting to create a barrier. Like I said earlier with the APC, they were using these large industrial forklifts to move these things into location. You can come up here, jump up here, and find this large toolbox with some duct tape in it. Okay. Lots of barriers they're trying to build around the entire place. There's a community garden over here. And in this garden, we're actually going to find another note right on over here. And it is gardening test. Gardening test. Name Samantha. Question 1. What do all plants need? Water and light. Question 2. What is photosynthesis? Ask your parents. How plants get energy. Question 3. What's your favorite plant from the garden? Tato. Question 4. Name a tool that we use every day in garden class. Shovel. Bonus question. What was the name of the plant we learned about yesterday in class? Pumpkin. Very good job, Samantha. 5 out of 5 correct. Okay, we can head back over this way. And we have a tent here and a holotape. The Christmas Flood.
This is Maria Chavez speaking, and today is December 25th, 2092. Once, in the world before the war, this would have been a joyous time to celebrate with loved ones. Now it's a time to reflect and to mourn. It was on this day 10 years ago that we lost so much in the tragic event we call the Christmas Flood. I'm making this recording in the hopes of ensuring the flood and its victims are never forgotten. I suppose the story really begins in November of 2077, a month after the war. Survivors from the Pleasant Valley Ski Resort sent a group to Charleston to ask for help and supplies. The city leaders turned them away. There was so much chaos and so much need back then, I suppose it was an impossible request to grant. The failure to secure help led to a change in leadership for the survivors at the ski resort. A cold and brutal man named David Thorpe took charge, and he shaped those people into something terrible. They took what they wanted by force and killed anyone that stood in their way. Years later, Thorpe's girlfriend Rosalind led a raid on Charleston. They were spotted early and a fight broke out. A few of them escaped, but Rosalind was injured and taken prisoner along with some of the other raiders. By then, the responders were more or less running things in the city, and we were doing pretty well for ourselves. We felt confident we could confront the raiders on their home turf, so we sent a group up into the mountains to see if we could make a deal. We hoped we could get them to leave us alone if we agreed to release some of their prisoners. We were wrong. Thorpe somehow got his hands on a mini nuke. He used it to blow the Summersville Dam on Christmas morning. We lost almost everything. Our homes, our supplies, and most of our family and friends. The days and weeks that followed were the hardest of my life, but somehow we held together. We kept the idea of the responders alive, even though there were only a handful of us left. That's the story of the Christmas Flood. Tell your children. Tell everyone you meet. Let's keep the memory alive for as long as we can.
Alright, so let's take a look at the rest of this site. So we got a dance floor over here with some dead responders and a whole bunch of these petrified corpses. We got skeletons of bodies that were just torn to shreds. Heading over here, we've got a, well, there's that travel trailer right here, which I was realizing how cool this thing must look when it's all packed up from these cone-shaped tail lights it's got. It's got to look pretty neat when it's actually up and traveling. Over in here, we've got this little workshop inside these storage containers. You can head up here, and there's a bedroom back out here. There's a tent that we can go into, and they have a stereo, a lawn chair, pile of metal junk, and a vehicle tester. I'm not sure what the purpose of that area was. Small bedroom here with a dead responder underneath it, or actually that looks like it's probably a raider. I don't know. Could have been someone's casual clothes or something. I don't know. Petrified corpse inside of this porta potty. We can head up into the tail of this. Find a crib. Okay. Heading back out here. Got a tent that's clearly been collapsed in, and a Jeep. Maybe a Scorch piece picked up the Jeep and dropped it on the site. That's the only thing that really makes any sense to me. Over here, we got another tent, 4 sleeping bags, and a bedside table. Another 4. Okay, and here is Responder Rocky with a stim pack. He's a named corpse here because he actually is part of another quest. Because he's got something on him for Kesha McDermott. So right here we have a Responder Protectron that used to be a Fire Protectron. Another little bedroom with a shower in it. Let's see if we can find a way up onto the roof of this. Doesn't look like it, but there are some lawn chairs up there, or some deck chairs or something like that at least. Another bedroom. Okay. Cooking area. Fire truck. A crashed vertibird. Some barriers over here. And we actually need to go check out the graveyard, because there's a note up here as well. Okay, here it is. I remember you, Mom. Mom, you raised me alone after you left us, and you made sure I went to school. You made sure I was better off than you were. I was always happy even when I seemed like I wasn't. You were always there for me. But when it came down to it, I wasn't there for you. I will never forgive myself. Never. Okay, something interesting to note here. These tombstones are all the same ones you found in Boston, but there's also a weird optical thing where the broken tops of these things, you can see through them. Anyway, though, heading back down to the airport. Alright, we can head over this way. We've pretty much cleared the area where everyone was living. Got a crashed fighter plane here. A Stingray, I believe it's called, or at least a wing of one. There's another wing. Alright, so we have all these forklifts with baggage carts. So coming over here, we can check out the field ops tower. Alright, so it is from this point that they are broadcasting the emergency request. We can play this tape here.
It's been a hell of a week, I tell ya. We lost more good people fighting off those damn scorched things again. Now I got Shabbos telling me we're picking up a new radio signal. Someone's asking for help. She wants me to take my team and follow it till we find them. Can't be too far. Already tracked it gaining strength south of here. Problem is, we'd have to go straight on through Raider country to find them. And I don't have the time or men to spare right now. So, I hate to say it, but I gotta tell her it ain't gonna happen. Not now. My team's the last line of defense, and if I take them on some wild goose chase, we're leaving ourselves open for another Christmas flood situation. And you can bet your ass I ain't gonna let that happen again, even if it means someone out there might need us. Man alive, times have changed.
And so what I mean by them broadcasting the signal, let's check this out. Responders emergency signal.
We need all hands at the Morgantown Airport base. I repeat, all responders report to Morgantown Airport right away. Bring any weapons you can. The Scorched are coming, and there's a lot of them. Please hurry. There's not much time. Chavez out. This message will repeat.
Alright, there we go. So yeah, that's being broadcast from this tower. And we can check out the back of this. Another Scorched, robot parts. And that's because we are nearing the robot assembly area here. A whole lot of junk we can pick up if we want it. More baggage carts. And here we go. Here's another little residence. Now this is a very recent update that they added the advanced responder training here. Let's see. So we got storage here for food, I think. We got the bot shop. This is where Miguel Caldera was operating. We can find a lot of his stuff here. Flatwoods supply delivery. Miguel, I delivered part of the supply shipment to your safe as requested. I wasn't sure where you were, guessing you're out in the woods again somewhere. I don't see your robot anywhere either, so I figure you're safe. I'm going to see if Maria needs me to take anything back to Flatwoods, so I'll be around for a day or two. Find me. I miss you. Gary. Okay. And another note here. Sweet Bean. My sweet Gary Bean. I'll be up at my camp. Maria is giving me a sanity day so I can relax. Join me. I hope you brought some of that comfort food from Flatwoods. We can have a picnic. Don't worry. If any volunteers stop by to learn stuff, the robot should be able to take care of them. I wrote a whole program to deal with that so I can actually relax and enjoy the great outdoors with you. Love you, dear heart, Miguel. Okay. We got a weapons workbench, tinkerer's workbench. We got some bot pods. And even a responder's protectron in here and responder's iBots. Okay. Let's check out the little back rooms over here. We have Miguel's terminal. To-do list. Update the override program. Program Protectron to run camp training permanently. Go outside. Relax. Spend time with Gary. Store camping materials and safe for emergencies. Schematics. That just downloads some schematics. Bug reports. Bug. Dance bot doesn't stop dancing. Fixed. Factory reset should now save all dance routines. Bug. Latest schematics are too complicated. Status closed. I might in the future add some sort of description that says how hard these things are to build, but for now, that's for the user to figure out themselves. Bug. Poison control bot explodes. Status. Cannot reproduce. I don't even think we have those bots anymore. I heard we sent one to Grafton and it exploded. I'll reopen this if I find one to test though. Bug. Responder protectrons have no reaction. Status. Open. Comment. Right now, if you use this program on a regular responder bot, nothing happens. Which is safer than explosions and puppy killing, so I'll hit this bug when I have time. Bug. Veterinary bot attacks animals. Status. Fixed. This is the worst bug I've ever had to test in my life. R.I.P. Mr. Fluffy, you sweet pup. Bug. Volunteer bot personality becomes mean. Status. Needs verification. Comment. I used this program on Mr. Fluffy, my personal assistant, to reproduce this, and it's confirmed. He's now a jerk. I think I have a fix ready for this, but I haven't tried it out yet. Bug. iBots have no reaction to the program. Status. Works as designed. Comment. iBots work on some other system, and I don't want to make this work with them. Let's say this isn't a bug. It's just something I don't want to fix. Miguel's journal. Warning. Database corrupted. Partial entries recovered. Hello, world. It's been real hard being on my own since the bombs dropped, but the responders, they have it figured out. They got someone working on vaccines and medicines and stuff. They even turned regular people into responders. I took all their survival training programs and passed with Asus. Now I'm a responder too. Nifty, right? The cause. The Scorchbeasts scare me more than anything. It's why I joined the responders. I knew I couldn't live alone anymore, and they have stuff figured out. I just wish maybe they got along better with the Brotherhood. It's not us or them, it's all of us together. It's a shame. Programming again. I used to be a programmer before the bombs fell, and, well, guess what? I program robots now, too. I mean, it's important work, I get it. I can help out in the lab, too, with other programmers, and it's good to have company. They said they'd let me do some outdoor survival orienteering for the new responders, though, so I'm looking forward to that. Hope in Flatwoods. I'm helping a couple of responders set up a base out in Flatwoods for a bit. They think a bunch of survivors will start getting processed there, so I'm going to set up camps. I could do this forever. Camping under the stars and helping people out at the same time is a dream, you know? Mr. Fluffy. We're actually making progress. Oh man, I even got myself a new Protectron bodyguard today. It has an attitude problem though, but that's what happens when you put a bunch of parts together randomly sometimes. I called him Mr. Fluffy, which really irritated it for some reason. Error. Metallic surface is not fluffy. Error. Does not compute. I've seen it before, so I'm going to need to write a program that resets their brains. This might take a while. Despair in Flatwoods. Flatwoods is rough. So many refugees, not enough responders. I'm going to start making advanced training courses for volunteers because there aren't enough of us to train everyone individually. Good news though, I met someone on the road between the airport and Flatwoods. Glad to have someone to keep me company. It's a long walk and Mr. Fluffy, the robot, is not a good exercise partner. Reset program. I wrote a program that will reset my Protectron's brain to a setting that's a little more conventional for a robot instead of standing next to me day and night forever. Which is, I gotta say, really ruining my sex life right about now. Peace, Appalachia. I should have signed up for the Vault-Tec stuff, but the thought of being in a tin can for 100 years was too terrifying. But here it is. Every day more of us die. I haven't seen a refugee in too long. If I'm going to get ripped to shreds, I'm doing it with a pot of Delbers chili, in the woods, and under the beautiful stars. I refuse to die in the office, but I need to wait for Gary, and then we'll go together. This is it. All I wanted to do since the bombs fell was help people and explore what's left of nature. But he's dead, Maria. Gary died this morning. It was just an accident. One of those things broke through the gate. I already buried him on the hill with the others. What's the point here with any of this if we can't even protect ourselves? I'm going to my camp, and I'll take my robot. I just need to figure things out. Restricted messages. We've already read all those. Alright, so Miguel Caldera died in the woods next to his robot. Another note here, Flatwoods Kiosks. Task: program a new self-serve volunteer kiosk system for Flatwoods. It must be able to process several dozen volunteers a day and should teach them basic skills using time donated by local responders. Your contacts are Kesha and Delbert. Both are willing to be the model for this program. Got a shower here. Okay. And a note here on the counter. Tasks. Do this week. Fix camping program bugs. Check Flatwoods Kiosk for issues. Get Gary a gift for his next visit. Take another chair to the camp. Okay. We can head upstairs. Got a wreck of a plane here. Heading around in here, we have what I assume was Miguel's bedroom with a steamer trunk. We can now head back downstairs and continue searching through the camp. We can head over this way. There's the quarantine, and right here we have the medical laboratory. Nothing really to see just yet. I mean, we've got some junk, first aid kits, medicine boxes. Got a good amount of medical junk back here, and also a stim pack and some medicine. Over here we got a toolbox with some junk, some books you can't even look at. Okay, head back out this way and go upstairs. We got a dead scorched here, surgical trays, jarred scorched hand, and a responders laboratory terminal. We'll come right back to that here in just a minute. Coming back around here, we have a holotape. Well, actually, this is a digital record. Psych eval for Olivia P. Henderson. Property of responders medical. Psychological evaluation, Olivia P. Henderson. Dr. Madison. This is Dr. Madison of the responders. I'm conducting a psychological evaluation of the patient Olivia Henderson. Olivia Henderson. You forgot the P, Dr. Madison. Of course. Of patient Olivia P. Henderson. This session is being recorded. Hello, Olivia. Olivia P. Henderson. Howdy again, Doc. Dr. Madison. Let's get started. First, can you state your current role with the responders? Olivia P. Henderson. Well, let's see. I started as a volunteer, like most everyone these days. Didn't do much to help. Then found out about the quarantine zone here, and knew this is where I had to be. Dr. Madison. For the record, the quarantine zone at Morgantown Airport is where research and containment of the scorch phenomena takes place. Olivia P. Henderson. Yes, that'd be it. I don't think I'd call it by such a pretty word, though. It's more a nightmare. Dr. Madison. And your job here is to guard the quarantine zone and take care of the scorched victims? Olivia P. Henderson. Yes, sir. It's my job to keep the watch over the doomed souls and make sure they stay locked up. Dr. Madison. Can you tell us why you chose to take this job? Olivia P. Henderson. Well, when the call came out for quarantine guards, it kind of had a disclaimer attached to the job role. Dr. Madison. I see. Can you explain? Olivia P. Henderson. They said it was a permanent position, as in, I'm permanently quarantined here, too. The scorched are too dangerous and highly contagious, so I can never leave. Dr. Madison. And why did you decide to take the job? Olivia P. Henderson. That one's easy. I'm pretty sure I already told you it's the cancer. Dr. Madison. Yes, you told me you were diagnosed with terminal cancer just before the bombs. Olivia P. Henderson. Yes, sir. Dr. Madison. But you've survived so long. The doctor said you had just a few years left in you. You're still kicking. What do you think happened? Olivia P. Henderson. That part I'm not sure about. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and maybe something with the radiation is slowing down the progress, or maybe it's in a recession. Dr. Madison. Remission. Olivia P. Henderson. Yeah, that's the one. Maybe it's in remission. Dr. Madison. Tell me about the other quarantine guard. Wyatt. Are you two getting along? Olivia P. Henderson. Oh, dear Wyatt. Reminds me of my son, God rest his soul. He's a smart boy. Unlucky as hell, but smart. Kid doesn't deserve what life's handed him. Dr. Madison. That's very true. I do have an assessment with Wyatt later this week. Olivia P. Henderson. Be nice to him. He's been like family since we've been stuck in that airplane together. Dr. Madison. Will do, but I'm afraid we're out of time. That wraps up the assessment. Thank you for joining me today, Olivia. The responders do thank you for your service as well. We're truly grateful. Olivia P. Henderson. Just keep delivering the liquor, Doc, and I'll be happy as a clam at high tide. Dr. Madison. Of course, it's the least we can do. End of transcript. Evaluation results. Results of continued interviews with Olivia have proven my initial hypothesis correct, for the most part. Subject is aware, resourceful, mentally able, and psychologically fit to continue her work in quarantine. Subject also shows signs of stubbornness, willful ignorance, and cynicism. We'll be keeping an eye on any sign of background or latent depression. Anxiety is through the roof, but who isn't dealing with that? Recommendations? Continue eval of subjects, perhaps at a slower pace. Every other month should be good for now. It's the other guard I'm more concerned with. Okay, we'll just finish out over here. Got a couple fridges with a jarred scorched head and foot. And a fridge with a capless skull and a jarred scorched hand. Oof. Nasty. Okay, heading back around here, we've got the Responders Laboratory Terminal. Responders Laboratory Terminal. Inoculation Project Announcement. Folks, I got some exciting news to share. As you all know, Dr. Hudson has been continuing her research in the lab at AVR Medical. Well, she just reported in to let us know she's made a significant breakthrough, and it looks like an inoculation against the Scorch Plague could soon become a reality. Let's all keep our fingers crossed and make sure we do everything we can to help Claire complete her work. Our very survival depends on it. Scorched Research. Introduction. The Scorched, a field study, Dr. Claire Hudson. Those of us struggling to survive in the post-war world face countless threats. The search for safe and sustainable sources of food and water would be enough of a challenge to anyone, but the strange mutated creatures appearing throughout the region greatly increase the danger of day-to-day life. None of these threats, however, compare to the Scorched. To better understand these monsters of the wasteland, I've spent time observing them and gathering information from these individuals lucky enough to survive first-hand encounters with the Scorched. There are still far more questions than answers, but I believe I have made progress in understanding these enigmatic and fearsome creatures. Details on specific subjects to follow. Scorch Beasts. Scorch Beasts. The name conjures terrifying images of huge mutated bats that poison the ground and warp living creatures into deadly thralls. We first learned of the Scorched Beast from the Brotherhood of Steel, whose soldiers encountered the Scorched to the southeast. At first nobody believed that what they were describing could be real. We thought it was a bullcrap story, giving the Brotherhood an excuse to commandeer our ammo and supplies. We were wrong. I'll never forget the first time I saw one of those monstrosities, black wings against a blood-red sunset. Talk about a reality check. We know far too little about these creatures, but we do know that they aren't strictly nocturnal. They also seem equally willing to move alone or in small groups, and they're highly aggressive. Worse than that, they're dangerously radioactive, which I believe gives us an important clue about their origin. If we ever get a hold of one for study, I think we could learn a lot about them. Unfortunately, being anywhere close to a Scorched Beast is a near certain death sentence, and that's not just because of the radiation. I'll cover that more in the next entry. The Scorched Plague. I'd love to give a detailed explanation on what the Scorched Plague is and how it works, but right now we know so little, it just wouldn't be possible. Frankly, it's damn frustrating. What we do know is that living creatures that come in contact with a Scorched Beast sometimes begin to mutate. The victim's skin turns dark, almost black, with the smell of ash. Some kind of biochemical process takes hold at this point. Lesions that burn with intense heat begin to form on the victim's body. The affected creature appears to be covered with smoldering embers. In the case of humans, higher mental function eventually disappears, replaced by extreme, almost animalistic aggression. We call the creatures that are transformed in this way scorched. Needless to say, watching a friend or loved one go through this process is both horrifying and heartbreaking. Worse, there's almost nothing we can do about it. And I say almost because we've been able to gather enough information about the scorched plague that we are able to develop a vaccine against it. That's a huge maybe, but we recently found some equipment at AVR Medical Center that's in pretty good shape. With the right facilities and a steady supply of scorched to study, we might just be able to find a way to counter this terrible disease, or possibly even reverse it. Only time will tell. Anti-scorch tactics. I hope by now I've made one point crystal clear. The scorched are lethal. They are nothing less than an existential threat. If we cannot find a way to defeat them, or at least to contain them, there's no reason to think they won't spread far and wide, transforming or destroying everything in their path. We don't know nearly enough about the scorched to develop real tactics. What we know so far mostly amounts to common sense approaches for dealing with a deadly predator. I'll summarize those points below. If you're unfortunate enough to encounter a scorched beast, likely because it has decided to hunt you, do everything in your power to keep away from it. If you've got a gun and can find an enclosed space to fire from, that's ideal. Scorched beasts are too big to fit in small spaces. Remember that scorched beasts emit strong radiation. That, coupled with a powerful bite, should compel you to keep your distance at all costs. If you've got no other choice, you should at least consider using some Rad-X before you engage that creature at close range. Scorched humans are savage and deadly. While their ability to speak is limited, don't think of them as mindless. They've retained enough intelligence and memory to use guns and other weapons, and they're hostile to just about everything they perceive to be a potential threat. Fight the scorched as you would a raider, albeit one with a deadly plague. Of vital importance is keeping your distance to minimize the risk of infection. Stay in cover when you can, but give ground when you need to. Do not let them get close. I know that's not much to go on. There's still so much we don't know about these creatures. Hopefully it'll help just a little. This concludes my report. And messages. But these are messages we've read before. Alright, so we're done here. We can head back out. And over into the quarantine area. Alright, well, I'm not going to actually participate in this event because we have only one other thing in here to really find. We're going to look at a couple of things real quick though, so let's actually head in here. Alright, so we got a couple of safety showers and eye washes and stuff like that. Got a room with some barrels. Safe here in the floor. Can't open it though with this character. A place where there are burning bodies. And a place where people were living. Heading back out here, past that chemistry station I should have noted. Bodies in wheelchairs. We got an APC with a dead body in it. We got porta potties. Or a porta potty, I mean. This area is walled off. A big pile where they've been burning bodies. Coming on over here, we have the real quarantine where they were storing people that were at risk of becoming scorched. And these folks clearly became scorched, stayed in one position too long, and ended up turning into petrified corpses. This is another place where they were burning more bodies. Now if we come over here, we have the remains of the plane where the quarantine guards were living. Those were Wyatt and Olivia. Heading here, recipe there on the table. A sharp chef's rolling pin right there. Interesting little weapon. We got a bathroom there, another bathroom there. Okay, let's check out the rest of this first floor. Place where Olivia and Wyatt would play games, presumably. A gate here. Not sure why this is a gate, but anyway. Why it's not just a wall, I mean. Coming up here into the cockpit. There is a radio there on the floor. We have a safe. And unfortunately, I believe that the other digital record we need is in this safe, so I'm going to have to come back here on a different character. And I will insert that footage right here. Psych eval, Wyatt Johnson. Psychological evaluation, Wyatt Johnson. Dr. Madison. This is Dr. Madison of the Responders. I'm conducting a psychological evaluation of patient Wyatt Johnson. This session is being recorded. Hello, Wyatt. Wyatt Johnson. Hi, Dr. Madison. These assessments are informal evaluations and are only intended to get a better understanding of how you're doing. Is that clear? Wyatt Johnson. Yes, Doctor. Dr. Madison. Good. I'll be asking a few simple questions. Please answer honestly. First, can you state your current role within the responders? Wyatt Johnson. I make sure the monsters stay locked up. Dr. Madison. The Scorched, you mean? Wyatt Johnson. Yeah, the walking demons. Dr. Madison. Okay. Can you describe why you chose to volunteer for this job? Wyatt Johnson. Volunteer? I thought this was mandatory. Dr. Madison. No, it was completely voluntary. We posted the request and conducted interviews. Wyatt Johnson. Oh. I figured since my mama got scorched that this was my punishment. Dr. Madison. No, Wyatt. This is a completely voluntary role. Your mother Brenda was infected by the scorch, but that doesn't mean there's any kind of punishment involved. Wyatt Johnson. I let them get close to her. It's my fault. Dr. Madison. No, it's not. It was an accident, Wyatt. Wyatt Johnson. That don't matter. I know this is my punishment. Dr. Madison. Wyatt, in your interview you said you had a terminal illness, and that's why you were choosing to become a quarantine guard. Wyatt Johnson. Yeah, I do have a terminal illness. It's called life. Dr. Madison. Wyatt, work with me here. Wyatt Johnson. Can I go now? I promised Livy that I'd grill some dogs tonight. I finally got the grill working. Dr. Madison. We're almost done. Just a few more questions. Wyatt Johnson. When I grill, the kerosene leaks a little and covers up the stench of the monsters. Dr. Madison. I'm sorry, son. We're done. You can go. End of transcript. Evaluation records. Results of continued interviews with Wyatt have been difficult and troublesome. Subject refuses to cooperate and is showing signs of psychosis and critical detachment. Subject is distant, showing signs of instability, PTSD, and separation anxiety. Or he's just being a smart-ass kid. However, he does seem to get along very well with Olivia. Recommendation. Continue evals of the subject on a weekly basis. Keep a careful eye on this one, but should be okay under Olivia's supervision. Doctor's notes. Reminder to check with Maria, whenever possible, on holotape inventory availability. Starting to see requisitions cut for other purposes. Should be an investigation into the disappearances of tapes around here. Until the thief is caught, we'll continue audio to text transcriptions for redundancy. Alright, and we're back. You may notice my voice has changed. That's because I recorded this in multiple sessions. And I managed to get the flu in between the first session and the second session. So anyway, I realized also that we forgot a couple things. Specifically, there's a note up in here. So let's head up these stairs. And it's right here. Don't touch. Don't touch. These things haven't worked properly since the last Scorch attack, so I've sealed them as is. Just don't. We don't need them right now anyway. Miguel. Alright, so I assume that he's talking about maybe this? I don't know. Anyway, heading back downstairs. I don't think we checked the safe before either, but I think that can be controlled from this computer. Yep. Okay, so there's a plan for a cooking spit and some other little bits of junk in there that are nice. Okay, now let's head back out here and up into that tower. Okay, so I realized that though we listened to the radio beacon and to this holotape right here, we did not actually read this computer. Local radar monitoring. ATC tracking, flight, destination, no traffic on radar. Cargo vertibot deliveries. I finished hooking up the air raid siren and message broadcast to the ATC system. I asked Jeff to paint a circle in the area that these automated cargo vertibots keep choosing to land. I guess the rest of the airport is a little too cluttered for them. What this means to you. When the ATC radar picks up an approaching vertibot, it'll alert this terminal, which in turn will fire up the air raid siren and transmit a broadcast. Hopefully, that'll give us enough time to mobilize the landing zone and keep it clear of whatever unwanted guests the vertibot attracts when it gets close. Messages. These are all that we've read before. And Patrol Bulletin. Resource Coordination Terminal. The patrol log keeps a record of all recent restocking runs and requests. Incoming resources. From Flatwoods. 100 bags of chili. Yes, bags. Why did they put it in bags? Dasta updated the database with the information she got from survivors. Saw some weapons and ammo supplies mentioned. Miguel has programmed some of the Protectrons to restock some of the supply caches in the area. Resource requests. Responder Dasa requests a dozen new weapons and as many stim packs. Rocky needs additional food for the processing center. Note, rerouting all incoming food from Flatwoods to his location as it arrives. Miguel Caldera is requesting a new Protectron again. Note, this is the 4th one this month, so he can use his current one for a while. Responder Kesha McDermott is requesting a soil sampling kit. Okay, so I think in order to trigger the Kesha McDermott tour of the Morgantown Airport, we have to interact with that advanced training computer. Okay, advanced responder training signups. We've set up this terminal as a resource for volunteers who have covered the basics to continue their training. If this interests you, please check below to see what advanced trainings are available. Perks of growing your skills include extra ration tickets, the ability to help others and yourself, free hat while supplies last, view available training. And that gives us the mission to listen to Volunteer Training Camping 101. Okay, so let's listen to it.
Responder Survivors Volunteer Program. Advanced Training. Camping. By Miguel Caldera. Robot Programmer Extraordinaire. Part 1. Finding the perfect camping location. Now that the world has changed, it's hard to stay safe. Used to be that camping was safe as houses. Well, until there was a strong wind, right? These days, nothing is really safe. Even in your camp, someone might hurt you. Perfect spot doesn't matter now. It's all about your defenses. You can build near people you trust who will watch your back, or build things that will watch your back for you. No problem. Anyone can do it. Remember, camps are mobile. We're all explorers now, camping in a strange land full of adventure, wonder, and danger. So, camp often, and rest a lot. Before the war, I was gonna retire and go camping. Now I can do it every day. Forever. It's a dream come true. You know, do what you love, right? Now come to my camp, and I can show you some knots and framing techniques. Then, I'll direct you onto some helpful supplies. Good luck, volunteer.
Alright, now we have to go check out Miguel Caldera's camp. So I'll bring you back when we get there. Okay, and here we are at Miguel's camp with his robot, Mr. Fluffy.
Being tethered to your corpse is really rotten, Miguel. I keep hoping that a wolf will stop by and grab your bones, but no such luck. Sigh.
That's pretty cold. Alright, so we got...
Average volunteer takes 132 minutes to set up a camp for the first time. Responder Miguel set up this camp in only 9,999 minutes. Bravo. It's not enough that I am tethered to an invisible point forever, but the nickname so uncouth. None of the other volunteer bots had idiotic names. Miguel has some camp schematics on his terminal in the airport and a camp program holotape. Find them and return here.
We also have this one right here, which...
If your camp doesn't have all the necessities, consider using irradiated garbage to add that special touch. Camping wasn't always for everyone, but now that everything is...
That's enough. Thank you, Mr. Fluffy. Okay. Yeah, that holotape at his feet was one that we already have, so let's just get right back over here and find this camping syllabus. Here we go. Camp Guide Program version 3.4. Camp Guide Program version 3.4 beta. Notes, this loads primary Camp Guide AI, only works with my personal robot until I fix bugs in Caldera. But let's try to execute it. Error, only compatible with the following responder Protectron models: Volunteer Bot, Poison Control Bot, Veterinary Bot, and Dance Bot. Running this program on other devices may damage the holotape. Okay, so we have to have this camping syllabus. Alright, so I cannot get Kesha McDermott's tour of this place to trigger properly. mainly just because I cannot get through this tentative plans thing. I don't know what's going on, but for some reason the quest will just not properly trigger. But luckily, because I did my whole transcription project where I basically wrote down everything that I could possibly find for a few months, I have actual transcripts of the recording of her talking us through the tour of the Morgantown Airport, so I can just read those to you while we look at nice stock footage of the Morgantown Airport. So, let's do that now. Holotape 1, Patrol 1, Training Exercise. Kesha McDermott, Responders Survivor Volunteer Program, Advanced Training. Secure the Supplies by Kesha McDermott. Volunteer responders like you must help stock our supplies regularly. If any of our caches are depleted, well, we'll run into a heap of trouble. Since this is your first time on patrol, I will walk you through it. First, head downstairs and out the back doors to get to the triage center. This exercise will take you around the primary Morgantown Airport. Now you want to restock these caches regularly. Holotape 2, Patrol 2, Training Exercise. Kesha McDermott. Good work, volunteer. The triage center sees the heaviest of casualties, so the supplies here are probably always running low. Restock, then head out to the tarmac. Responder Rocky set up a processing camp in a cargo container. Hey, you're doing good work, volunteer. I know it's tough to walk through the wounded and just restock shelves, but we need you to do this. Other responders can take care of them. We need people to depend on. If we're all safe, then we can rebuild anything. The world isn't destroyed, you know. It just needs our help. Anyway, the next supply cache has a key, but you'll need to pick it up from Responder Rocky. Just tell him that Kesha has you doing patrols. Holotape 3, Patrol 3, Training Exercise, Kesha McDermott. Now start heading over to the medical center. You want to keep your patrols pretty quick so the responder's database doesn't lock you out. We use the processing center to hold food and drink supplies for any new survivors brought back for triage. It's real important to keep stocked. It's been such chaos keeping things well stocked since the Scorched, well, since the bombs. Seems like forever now. Like I used to tell my students, things are always a different kind of tough, and so are you. You only need to be tough enough to make it, but the addendum is, you also need to have resources and support to make it. And nobody can make it entirely alone. Okay? Now go on to the clinic. Holotape 4, Patrol 4, Training Exercise. Kesha McDermott. While you're here, ask the doctors if they have any special supply requests. After that, head over to the control tower for your last stop. As you can clearly see, we need to constantly restock all these supplies to keep our heads above water, and there's just no sign of it getting any quieter anytime soon. The control tower is on the tarmac, and that's your final patrol stop. I'm so glad we established a volunteer program. We've gotten many good responder volunteers this way. DASA does good work in Flatwoods. Holotape 5, Patrol 5, Training Exercise. Kesha McDermott. That wasn't so hard, right? Miguel has programmed some of the bots to restock the supply caches, but nowhere near the rate that we need. So the goal is we pull in volunteers to do at least one patrol for formal advanced training. Your assistance is greatly appreciated. When you log into the responder database, you'll be able to look up additional caches. Thank you for your service, volunteer, and remember, helping others will help yourself. Okay, and that does it for the Morgantown Airport. This has been the Resolute Cartographer. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more in the series, hit the subscribe button. If you want to get notifications as to when these videos become available, hit the notification bell. If you'd like to hit the like button, and if you have any comments or questions, leave them for me and I'll try to get back to you. Thanks for watching.